Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I want to wish you happy holidays, and I hope that the holidays were filled with family time and love and special memories. But today I thought I would sit down and let you guys know what I've been reading in the week up to Christmas, since Christmas was on a Sunday. And let's get into it because I have a lot to talk about.
Hey now, take a step out.
So one of the books I really wanted to finish, or the series I really wanted to finish in 2023, was Dark Fever by Karen Marie Moning, and I finished the entire series. It's a five book series. I started it on Thursday, I finished it on Sunday. I devoured this series, and I need to talk to somebody about it. This series blew me away in so many ways. So I'm going to kind of talk about it. It's going to be spoiler free. So if you guys want me to do kind of a book by book review, spoiler talk, or something like that, let me know in the comments down below, and I will be sure to do that. But today I'm just going to be talking about it all as one series, my experience with it, etc. So, I have read the Dark Fever series up to book 4. And when book 4 happened, I actually stopped reading. I got bored with it, which, looking at it now, I don't know how I got bored with it. Karen is my favorite Karen, to be completely honest. She made a fantastic fantasy series that I'm absolutely obsessed with. It's one of my new favorite fantasy series of all time. This book, oh my gosh, I did not understand what she was capable of when she like planted things in this book that literally came back. You didn't like see them again until the last book, like the last 90% of the last book. My mind was blown. She did a plot twist at the end of it that was pretty good. You thought you knew where it was going, and you didn't. And I just can't believe how good this series is. So basically, it's about a girl who is named Michaela. She goes by Mac, and she travels to Dublin, Ireland, because her sister, Elena, has been murdered. So she goes and tries to get to the bottom of it. She eventually does, but she wants to, have her revenge, find out what happened to her sister, why it happened, and make that asshole, excuse my language, pay for what they did, because Elena did not deserve it. And I loved this book. I loved it. I love the series. It is an adult fantasy. A lot of people think it's erotica. Pardon my language. In my opinion, it's not. There is a romance factor to it, but you don't actually get any, sexy times until, technically the 4th book. If you've read the series, you understand what I mean. But the last book. But I wouldn't consider it erotica because, number one, there's just not enough sexy times. And it's more plot driven to me. I've read some books that I can't get through because all of it is just, there's no plot. The plot is just two people having sex. And this is actually a fantasy book with a romance element to it. I wouldn't consider it an inappropriate R-rated book at all in any way, shape, or form. I mean, it's adult, it's adult concepts, there's adult language, but it's not, at the end of the day, it's a fantasy series about fairies and vampires, and legends, and I love what she did with the Fae. I cannot believe that somebody can do that good of a job with Fae lore. I don't even know where to start with fairy lore. I don't know what's canon, what's not canon, what, etc. But you know, you have the Seelie and the Unseelie, and how she put those together, how she kind of constructed the world. If it is like she took it completely from like the myth, how she incorporated it, how she made it her own was so good. Oh my gosh, it made me like fall back in love with like fairies and fairy tales, and it makes me want to research again about fairies, and it makes me remember how much I loved, like, when I was younger, things that incorporated fae into the books, because I loved those legends. I loved how intricate the characters were. I loved all of that, and this series just encompassed all of it. I read it pretty quickly, as you guys do know. I read it from Thursday. Literally, I don't know if I would have read it as quickly as I did if it wasn't for I wanted to get it over with, if that makes sense. Like, I wanted to finish the series, but I also wanted to start from the beginning, which I'm so thankful that I did. But I kept thinking in my mind, okay, let's go. And because I read it before, I think that aided me in how fast I read this series. And I almost had a headache. I read it so fast because I was exhausted. I would literally wake up, pick up the book, and at 12 p.m. I would go to bed. I read this nonstop. I read all the books nonstop and marathoned it. I didn't even want to go to Christmas because I was reading this book, this series, the last book. And I wanted to finish it because, number one, the last book is amazing. But there's so many questions, and there's so many, like, things that, just so many theories that you get into, and you're like, what happens? What happens? Who is who, and what is what, and what is real and what is not, and she does such a good job with that, and I cannot rave enough about this book. I read all 5 of them in a few days. This is probably my favorite series of 2023. It's the only series I've read in 2022, and it's not even 2023 yet, but my camera is dying. I wanted to let you guys know how good this series was, and I absolutely loved it. And I hope you guys had a good holiday, and I'll see you guys in my next one.